Welcome to the Starting Over podcast. I am your host, Edward Shelton, aka Dark Logos, and this is a show where we look at the strategies, tactics, and mechanics behind the game of heroclix. Unless it's a benchmark show! Yes, it is episode 100 of Starting Over podcast, which is sort of funny because I have done more podcasts than 100, but this is just 100 for the show outside of like mini cast and there is no show and stuff like that. So this is episode 100 in the core series. If anyone remembers episode 50, that was sort of Edward story time, talking about life and whatnot. So this is going to be a little bit like that. I told everyone that, hey, guess what? You write in your questions and then I will answer them. And I got a good amount of questions. But before we do that, I'd just like to show you truly how geeked out I am with the heroclix. As you may notice, what are those? Those are containers that contained heroclix. That is a warlock, the New Mutants warlock. I know it looks deformed. Than anything else. Yes, back behind there is a changed Thanos. Thanks again, Tom. Thanks again. Then my curse, some more stuff. You will see more stuff. And oh yeah, that's Superman. Superboy from this set. And then up above here, yes, that is my Batcave Phoenix Force video acting weird. If video acting weird is because the antivirus decided to update in the middle of the video. So yep, there goes the Sentinels. It's like generations of Sentinels. And that's Thor from Fear Itself. And Loki facing Thor. And more stuff. And these are my Mighty Mugs, which are awesome. And Silver Centurion, that's not the one I'm giving away, but that's mine. And my power plant. And then I have some more heroclix just sort of sprawling around here in general. And yeah, just in general. And yes, that is a Tomare from the original Green Lantern set. So yeah, I mean, and I got some stuff down. Oh, can't show you that. I got some stuff down here too. So as you can tell, there's I got a lot just laying about. My GCPD cruiser is collecting dust, unfortunately, just because I haven't had the time to use it or a build really. Like it was the stuff. It was really the stuff like a year ago. And now it's just, meh, okay, cool. Let's do something else. Yeah, it is cold. Colder than what I thought it would be coming into spring. And oh yeah, there's my Kleenex box and my brackets for March Madness, which have not been filled out yet. So if you're wondering, and bag of slosh. This is like my CUR. So it's way anyway. Going back, it's way colder than what I thought it would be, and I'm wearing the sweatshirt. I thought I'd be able to wear like the nice T-shirt and be like, yes, I have been working out. But it's cold. So anyway, back to the issue at hand. Because this is the 100th episode, and because I am a nice guy, and also eaglescollectibles.com are nice guys. They are going to be helping me give away 2 Common Ironmans and a Silver Centurion. And so let's let's go into the little spot for eaglescollectibles.com. If I can find it in my email. This is the thing about video, people. You're like, yeah, do video. It's like, yeah, I could do video, but like little things that you never see, you'll never hear me do in the audio cast. It's like I do, like, oh, no, wait, I can edit that out. Anyway, are you looking to keep a keen eye on your clicks game? Visit eaglescollectibles.com, where we offer great prices for some of the game's best pieces, from SRs to LEs and unique items. eaglescollectibles.com, helping you build your winning collection. So, all right. Let's get into some questions. And I know some of the questions is, where did that awesome intro music come from? I'm glad you asked, Internet. Pretty much the awesome intro music came from a listener named Greg Place. And he's in Minnesota now, if I last recollect. And he's heading out to the Omaha tournament. So if you see him in the Omaha tournament, give him a pat on the back, a high five, and all around like awesome trade if you can. He donated his services for the show, just like Mr. Joachim Adler did for the graphic. This is going to be the song, so YouTube doesn't flag me for using music that I have full ability to use. Anyway, so definitely check him out. I'll have a link somewhere when I get things together and update stuff. But yeah, check out his music, Book the Cat, if you so choose for your events. All right, so let's get into the questions. All right, starting off with Big Will Holland. He asked, first of all, I think you have more episodes out than ClicksCast. So sweet. I'm not quite sure, but if so, yeah. Here is the question. If you could teach the game of HeroClix to anybody in history, living or dead, who would it be and why? I wouldn't. See, this is sort of weird for me because I would like use HeroClix to go talk to people that I wouldn't really care about HeroClix with, and I would just talk to them. I think what I would do if I was like to actually teach HeroClix and actually would be like an interesting conversation, I would teach HeroClix to two different people. And I know this is cheating. The first would be Patton, because I think that would be the most awesomest game of Patton with the Haunted Tank and all of these little soldier guys versus me and whatever I build and me annihilating Patton. And then after that, Patton coming back and picking something a little bit more powerful and then having a real game. Just mainly to get some tactics ideas. That would be my dead person. Living person would be Day 9. And what's funny is if you go and you find out about Mr. Sean Plott, Mr. Sean Plott is from the Kansas City area, and we also went to the same high school. He went to Rockhurst High School he graduated after I graduated. So I am his predecessor, but his internet fame is well exceeds mine, and his just going out there and doing it is he did that before me. But if I could sit down and teach HeroClix to him, that would be great, because I would talk to him about new media, and I would talk to him about, hey, transitioning from various stages of production and just talking geek stuff. And for anybody that doesn't know Day 9, he pretty much does all the StarCraft commentary, and he is probably like one of the #1 shoutcasters for StarCraft and StarCraft 2. And I really think that's sort of funny, considering that I would think of Day 9 because to an extent, because of Day 9 and listening to him and saying like, hey guys, if you have an idea, just go out there and do it. I have this show. At the same time, I use a lot of Day 9's show formats and analysis to try to set up this show. So yeah, that's me cheating, Will. That's me cheating. But yeah, that's who I would teach heroclix to. And why? All right. Next up is Jacob Payne, and he sends me a good list of questions. And I know Jacob from where I play at, and that's going to be a little bit evident in the questions here. So Jacob's questions are, or Jake, it's really just Jake, is what is your favorite heroclix piece besides Brother Voodoo? And that's tough. That's like asking a parent to choose between their children. Like, which one is your favorite child? It's like, I like them all. I really like them all. But in all honesty, it's a figure that when I bust out, I get the groans. Well, technically there's two. It's tied in my heart, and they're both robot keyword. Of course, anyone that's listened to the show long enough knows my grand love of Master Mold. Master Mold is so broken at 200. Even after nerfs, I can't give up my love for the Master Mold. I don't hate mutants, but oh gosh, all the things Master Mold can do to piss off your opponent. It's glorious. So that, and the second one is Beta Ray Bill from the Fast Forces. I don't bring out either too often because when I do, it's one-sided. It's so one-sided about what happens that you can do it once in a while, and then people will be like, "Yep, didn't see that coming. That's annoying. I dislike you, sir." And people say that to me all the time at the tournaments jokingly. But if I like brought Beta Ray Bill and Master Mode all the time, I think there would be a great disdain. And they operate on two different levels, but they both scale infinitely up. Infinitely up. Do you have points, and do you have more stealth that you can add to your team? Beta Ray Bill infinitely becomes more powerful. Do you have enhancement and perplex and leadership and a way to take tokens off of any point level character figure? If you do, Master Mode scales infinitely upward. Infinitely. It is so beautiful. So, yes, again, I'm cheating on the question. But if I had to choose between Beta Ray Bill and Master Mold, that would be tough. I think it would be, my heart of hearts says Beta Ray Bill. My heart of hearts says Beta Ray Bill. Master Mold and I have had some good times. We've had some real good times. But Beta Ray Bill makes everything more broken. It makes everything more broken. And then Jake knows this because he played one of my Beta Ray Bill teams. Anyway, next up is what tech did you use that you wish performed better? Yep, Beta Ray Bill when he first came out. When Beta Ray Bill first came out, he wasn't horrible. It's just there wasn't a lot of stealth in the game. And stealth really had taken a back seat because you had all of this Avengers initiative come out and just flood your meta hole. And you couldn't, everyone was thinking like big damage, like Superman said. You were thinking big damage, big, I can see you anywhere you're at. And so stealth at that point in game design was like, ha! We're not dumb. We're not going to give you stealth. We brought you all this stuff to kill the old stuff that we made you so that you would get the new stuff. That's pretty much all this reason this stuff is out. And that's when I was like, yeah, I really wish I had something else that would like just up my overall tactical quality of the game. And so when I looked at Beta Ray Bill, I was like, oh, this is great. And then I start seeing like all these spy characters and this, that, and the other. And the more I looked, I was like, man, these figures suck so hard. And then even at 300, it's like, oh, I put a full Infinity Gauntlet on Beta Ray Bill. This sucks so hard because you're dependent on 2 clicks to your whole team. Your whole team is based around 2 clicks on probably your most expensive guy on your team. And it's, oh man, it's one of those things that is very frustrating. But at the same time, it's so satisfying when you tell people, like, no, you can't draw a line of fire to me unless you have Pulse Wave. Just can't. No, you can't outwit me because you would have to draw a line of fire. And it doesn't say if stealth is active, I just have to possess it. That's it. Unless you're able to take away my ability to have stealth, then you can't negate it. And then, but anyway, pretty much I enjoyed Beta Ray Bill Tech, but it just wasn't that good starting off. And then I tried like Neo. I've also tried Neo Lamp. Like I tried to do Lamp 3.0 and that didn't work. Like with Red Skull during Incredible Hulk set. Oh man, that that was one that I had high hopes for. It just didn't work. It just didn't work. What first got you into heroclix? City of Heroes. City of Heroes. What was it? Statesman, the first one, not the ones that came later, but the City of Heroes Statesman is what got me into heroclix. I love superheroes. My mentor, my first mentor, who taught me how to draw, he got me into comic books, and my adolescence was spent on comic books. And so when I was in undergrad, the year I was graduating, City of Heroes came out, and I played City of Heroes on this guy who later just flunked out of college because all he did was play video games. On his computer, and I had Atomic Axe, my Axe Invulnerability tanker, back when tanks were so horrible and scrappers could tank better than tanks. And I played that character like so long. Like I think during finals, it was bad because I played that character for probably about 10 hours on somebody else's computer, mind you. I played that character for about 10 hours, studied for about 2 hours, slept for like maybe 2 more hours, and then took a final. That's not good. I will never tell people to do that. Learn from me, kids. Don't let your video addiction get the best of you. Don't. Anyway, so when I graduated, I got myself off the City of Heroes crack for a while because I didn't have a computer that could run it. And so after working my 2 jobs and putting in the money and asking for it for my birthday, my mom and my brother brought me the City of Heroes game for my birthday. And it came, and I got the collector's edition because I wanted all the fancy stuff. And so it came with this little plastic man that I thought looked cool, and he had little stats and numbers, and he was a little statue. And so I put him up in my room, and I felt good about myself because I was taking those advanced steps into nerddom, where you go from, I have comic books, I have statues, look at me and my nerd cred, ha 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 ha. So the little statue of Statesman made me think like, okay, well, there's a little game behind this. I wonder if there's more of those little guys. So I go to the comic book store because the WizKids site is so suck. It's so suck for trying to, at that time, finding a tournament in a game and whatnot. So I go, go to the comic book store and I ask them, do you have any more of these little guy things for this HeroClix game or whatever? And he's like, yeah, I do. And they're right over there. And I go and I pick up like 3 or 4 of them. And I pick up the starter because, of course, you have to have a starter, quote unquote. And I buy it. I pull Carnage, which is a super rare. I forgot from which set, like the first Carnage. It's what I pull. So already things are going up for me unknowingly. I was just like, well, I have a Carnage and no Spider-Man. And I was sitting there the entire time thinking like, man, I wish I had a Spider-Man and so I could fight Carnage. And I didn't even think about how stuff worked and whatnot. So I go home, I get my starter, I have my Wolverine and my Sabretooth, and I unfold this map, this little tiny little map, and then I look at the rules and I read it, and I'm like putting stuff down. And I proceed to have probably the funnest comic book moment in my life, in which, and playing the game completely wrong too, because I thought you could act every turn like you could in chess. So ignoring willpower, because I was looking at willpower, I was like, this is dumb. I could just keep moving. And so I was just attacking with Sabretooth with the blades, claws, and then I did it wrong because I would have Sabretooth attack, and then if he had regen, then I would regen him back up because that's what happens in the comics. And so I was fighting, and then finally Wolverine hits the huge blow he needed on Sabretooth, and it was over. And I was like, yes! Go Wolverine! Go Wolverine! Yeah. And so after buying a couple more of these little guys, I decide to go find a real tournament because I played chess in high school and I went to nationals and I got on a high board on the lowest tier of chess playing at nationals for high school students. So I should be able to play these people that most likely have never played chess before at a competitive level. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. So I go in with my statesman, Nightwing. Yeah, like the first Nightwing. Vertigo, and yeah, somebody else. I forgot how many points that game was. And I get waxed hard by like Ultimates Thor. The guy I know, Jay, he had Ultimates Iron Man. Mega Lotus Man had Ultimates Thor as well. Yeah, it was a bad night. And for me, what becomes strange is I'm one of those guys that if I am bad at something, I'll walk away. Like, well, I'm just bad at that. If I know I can do something or there's an area that I'm confident in and someone beats me, then it's like, no, son, it's on. It's so on. And so I told you, like, I worked 2 jobs, right? Because the only thing I did was like stay at home because my mom was yelling at me that I need to go outside and not just go to work in the church and play City of Heroes. So what ended up happening is I saved up about 15 grand between my 2 jobs because all I did was just go to work and come back. So yeah, I saved up about like 15 grand. And I know I blew about 3 grand. And everybody's like, what the heck? Yeah, I blew about 3 grand on heroclix. That's back before I knew a whole lot of stuff about eBay. Like, I was like, how do I find these pieces? Because I'm going to get me one of these pieces. I blew money on things now that are worth like 25 cents. And that's why I tell you guys, like, don't go broke on this. Don't. Because it's not worth it. And what's funny is I still had, like, after like life and some other things, I still had like 7 grand to go into grad school with. So yeah. So anyway, back to the story hand. But anyway, that's what got me into HeroClix. And I proceeded over time to learn that I didn't need to blow obscene amounts of money and keep buying packs over and over and over again to get the figure I want. Like, Mutant Mayhem was my grand economic lesson. Don't keep buying blind. And I learned that lesson, and then Legacy came out. And I forgot that lesson. But by the time Icons came out, I learned most of my lesson. And then, yes, so I'll leave it at there because I don't even want to talk to you about how much I spent in grad school on HeroClix. Okay, what's next? What piece looked good on paper, but you've never been able to get traction with it? Oh, man, there's one that stands out like so much because it was DC 10th Chair Lex Luthor. And you could probably go back to me reviewing that set. And I would be like, oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna do poison and blah blah blah, and there's nothing you can do, and then I'll turn into big armor Lex Luthor, and he's going to be awesome. Blah, 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 blah. This is the proof that I'm not I'm not infallible. Yeah, it's a figure, like it was sitting right over here for the longest time, and it just sat there like, when you're going to use me, man. When you're going to use me? I thought you had all these plans. What happened? I got hair. I got my hair back, and I'm sitting in a chair. I got the Illuminati sign above my freaking head. Like when are you going to use me, son? What's up? And it sort of mocked me for a good 6 months because every time I was like, I'm going to build a team. What am I going to do? I'm like, well, there's Batman and Iron Man. And it's like, Lex Luthor's like, come on. And so no matter how hard I was thinking of trying to put it together, it just did not. It didn't work. So that's a simple question. And I think that also goes back to me trying to revive Lamp in an era that the game was just like, no, we're not allowing that to exist. Next up, what has been your favorite match you have ever played and won and lost? Okay, the favorite match that I've ever played was against Megalotus Man. Actually, dang it, there's a tie. Because I've been in some pretty good sized tournaments. Okay, I'm going to use one that's a big tournament and one that's a little tournament. And I'll start with the little tournament. Okay, we were playing. Gosh, dog. We were playing for Zabaro, which I never used. Which is this is the funniest thing. I was like, Zabaro is the future. Never used him. And so I was playing Josh for Zabaro. And we had established at this time the grand the end of the Cold War, because we were just escalating between the both of us. It was a grand trinity of fighting. It was Jay, Josh, and myself. And Josh is Megalotus Man. Anyway, it was so absurd of what we were building. It was not fun for anyone because everything that we were building was just to beat the other guy, because we could beat anybody else in the venue just about, except for like weird days. But it was like this triangle of Josh, Jay, and myself. And that's all I was concerned about. And pretty much it was guaranteed in the tournament that we were all going to face each other. It was pretty much guaranteed. So we decided that what we were going to do is we're going to start telling each other what we were designing ahead of time and tell general concepts of what we were thinking. So what ended up happening was Josh told me that he was going to use a bunch of characters, because I think it was like an 800-point game or a 900-point game. I forgot what it was. It wasn't a 1,000-point game, but it was a pretty high up point game. And so he told me that he was going to use a bunch of common Superman figures. He's going to use a whole bunch of Superman figures that use that little promotion thing. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, so he's going to have like 2 Supermans and 1 Superboy and another, and a bunch of Eradicators. So let me see if I even have this in my HeroClix notebook still. I really do wonder, because this actually might be one of those few moments where I'm able to like show you like firsthand what my team is. I don't think this is in it. No, that's not it. This is again video, people. Why? It's like it's like you see the things that I edit out. Okay, I think I'm getting closer. All-Star Squadron. Hold up, wait. No, I think that was it. Dang it. I think I passed it. Justice League Dark, Black Bolt. No. Oh, okay. Okay. I think I may have found it. No, that's a 2v2 tournament. Okay, so we're starting at the top again. I wish I could like show you my screen, but I'm using like very basic software just to, just basic software. It's just stuff that came with. Okay, here we go. To build 2 600-point teams, 6 actions, no feats, golden age, no BFCs. Okay, here's what it is. Okay, yes, now I remember. This is it. This is the so it was technically a 1,200-point game. So yeah, it was ridiculous. So you had to build 2 teams, and what Josh did still gives me post-traumatic stress to this day. He built 2 Metropolis teams solely composed of common Superman. That's it. And I mean, the guy bought enough, so he had full right to play his stuff. So you were looking at 2, 4, 8 common Supermans at 150 points. Bringing full wrath of Krypton on you. Here's my team. Okay, here's my team. Scarlet Witch, 35-point Scarlet Witch times 2. Secret Invasion, Doctor Strange. Captain America, Invisible Woman. Steve Rogers from Captain America set at 99 points. Secret Invasion, Spider-Man at 50. Jarvis at 36 points. Rookie Ant-Man from most likely Supernova. Vet Echo. That's my Avengers team. And then my Metropolis team was Earth 1 Superman, Eradicator, Origins, the Origin Superman. Not the cool Superman with the shield, which is what I was originally going to use, but the freaking Origin Superman that doesn't even fly. Okay? Cyborg Superman from the set, and Superman set Superboy. And I was going to play the Shield. I was going to play the Shield Disruptor, the Vine, and the Dumpster. You got to understand how epic a fight that was. That was so brutal of a fight. And I got Map, and he just came in and just lit up like somebody. I think, and what it really came down to is that the Origin Superman got a crit hit with the dumpster on one of his key Supermans. And then I TK'd in the Shield Disruptor and killed about 3 or 4 of his guys at once. Because I finally got whatever I needed unoutwitted. And so, yeah, that was it. Shield Disruptor is OP, son. Shield Disruptor is OP. But yeah, that one is my favorite game that I won. The one that I lost, that on a local level, was I was playing my Black History Month team last year, and things were like tight, like so tight. I was at we were near the end of the game. I was looking at what I had KO'd on his side of the field, and I looked at what he had KO'd on my side of the field, and I thought I had won. They said 2 minutes left, and I will not lie, I stalled. I'm like, I could go for this, and this would be my last thing I can do, and it would be your turn, but I'm not. And so I just kept on my turn. Time was called, and then we counted points, and I lost. If I actually attacked and hit, then I would have won, because I lost by one, it was like 2 points. I lost by 2 points. So yeah, that one is my favorite game that I lost on the local level. On the big tournament level, favorite game I won. This is way back when super qualifiers, we didn't have not super qualifiers. Wow, quarry stuff mixing in. When you were able to qualify for Wizard World, they would have the pre-releases, and so for the pre-release for Armor Wars, it was in Tulsa, and what was awesome is that I pulled like Sentry and Magneto for my pull for Armor Wars. So if you know Armor Wars, I pretty much pull like the best things ever from that set. The Chair Magneto from House of M and Sentry. So anyway, I played like Sentry and some other guy, and like I just killed everybody in the prelims. And then in the out rounds, my team was Despero, Blink, Hawkeye on the bike, the vet Hawkeye, with Thunderbolts making him Green Lantern or something, or I don't know, probably Superman. And I forgot who was left. Like I think I had like a paramedic, vet paramedic. It was back in the day where like everybody, yeah, vet paramedic and a con artist. I think like everybody had a vet paramedic and a con artist. And the best thing about the LE Blink is that she has TK, and she's probably like one of the cheapest, best attackers in the game at that time. And most people forgot about her. So anyway, I played against a team in which one of the, it's some guy's mom. And she's playing like KC Green Lantern and a bunch of, I forgot even what the feats were. This is how long ago it was. And she was playing like KC Green Lantern, and then like the sidekick on somebody that was somewhat important or whatever. I didn't really remember. And I I was just looking at her team and it was formidable. And so I was talking to her and she was like, yeah, I really like playing heroclix. My son designed, this team. I'm like, all right, cool. And then I come to find out like her son is one of the beta testers for the sets before WizKids put out the sets at that time. So, he was pretty knowledgeable. So we play, because this is back when everything has to be on those standardized maps that we have now. And this is literally the first set where we have one map, just one map that all games for all approved play have to be played on. And so we're playing on the Armor Wars map. I get my team up because Hawkeye is a transporter. And so I move up my team. Oh, yeah, because Hawkeye's Green Lantern. I forgot. That's why. Hawkeye's Green Lantern. So he just carries my team up, and I get in position so I can TK. I TK out I perplex up Despero's attack, TK out Despero, and on my first hit, I hit Green Lantern, like hard. And that was all she wrote. And so, yeah, it was cleanup after that. So that was my favorite game at the high level. And you're going to be like, well, what about your rock games? Like, those were fun. But that, like, really, when I look at my favorite game, like, I shouldn't have hit Green Lantern, but I did. And it just sort of went pew for my opponent. Favorite game that I lost. Okay, this is from Rock Tournament. When I played Ken the Red, and we both had Shi'ar team. We both had a Shi'ar team base and Lilandra and an object, and we were thinking the exact same thing. And then I went and put us on the freaking water map so that neither of our tactics would work. And I misplayed. So that was on me. I really did misplay. So I had 2 misplays. So yeah, I learned some lessons from that, but that was my favorite loss. Next up, how many times have you played that effing healing vine thing object? I hate it. Now, again, remember I said, like, this is going to show that I had played against him and that he knows me personally. Okay, here's the thing about the vine. When the vine came out, you initially could only win the vine. And I was in Tulsa at the time, and I was a judge. And unfortunately, I was not judging the week that the vine came out. And so I, in all power within me, devised the most evilest team that I could to get that freaking vine. Because the game got rid of medics below 50 points for a while, for a good long while. I think there was a mass reaction to what Paramedic did to the game. Like, Paramedic really, really screwed over the game. Yeah, I'll be honest. Paramedic screwed over the game on multiple levels. And so the idea of cheap healing had left. And then enters the Ephro Vine, which is some sort of healing Dragon Ball Z equivalent beam that you get inside of, the Hulk storyline when he's on the other planet or whatever. So when I was in Tulsa, that was the primary back behind just about all of my teams was that vine, because you didn't have cheap healing. And you just didn't have cheap healing. So when I came back to Kansas City and I started playing against still a pretty tough crowd of people, their tech was, we are going to alpha strike you with TK. And once you realize that you're going to get alpha striked with TK and you're going to take 5 to 6 clicks of damage and your guy is probably going to be almost dead, the Ephro Vine, it fits, because you have no excuse not to just, okay, I put a guy out there, he gets hit, I TK him back to the vine in the medic, The medic heals him, and he rolls for Vine. So until they changed, the ruling on objects, I was just playing it every time because there was no reason not to. And then I lost it because I either lost it or it got stolen or someone took it. But I lost my original. And then I just we had print and play back when the other site had all of the stuff that you could technically print your stuff from, and you didn't need to go to WizKids because they're... Anyway, that's... Oh, WizKids, I hate you so much on that. You're like, we're protecting our money. No, you were... There's things that I can't say on camera because of my standards, but it's, it's BS. Anyway, but so when I came back to Kansas City, the Vine was like a gopher. And WizKids changed to the special object rules and retiring special objects and all that. That's the only reason I hadn't played it. Because if not, I mean, it's free. It's free healing. You're guaranteed just about to heal one at max 2. For free. For free. You can't beat that. So, yeah, that's... And how many times I play, just say this. I'll say this. There is probably one period in which I may have declined on my use of using the Ephel Vine, and that's because I had that one lantern, the Indigo Staff. That's it. Because I had Indigo Staff on the team, and that's a light object, and I couldn't have 2 special light objects. That's it. I mean, otherwise, like, it's ridiculous. It was ridiculous. So probably I played at least 200 games with that dang Vine. At least. Because it was so broken. And he asked, can you give a shout out to Game Cafe? Shout out to Game Cafe in Independence, son. That's where I play. You want to come challenge me? Let me know that you're coming so I can make sure I'm there. Because sometimes work acts messed up. And I tell them I'm not available to work. And then they schedule me anyway. So, yeah. Anyway, big shout outs to Jake. Next up, Tom Boyk asks, I don't know if you made this observation before. I've only listened to the last 20 episodes. But do you think WizKids purposely makes broken pieces to keep the community active? In other words, they come out with major sets every few months. In that lull, they spoil the spirals, slosh, bizarros, then rile up the community and keep the boards active, thus keeping interest in the game high. I know personally, I can't wait to get my hands on that Bizarro/Valdius to see what they can really do. Yeah, I do think so. I think, and yeah, I'm sorry, like when I sit down too long, my nose itches, I apologize. Things that you weren't attending to see. I really do think that the WizKids community, sorry, not WizKids community, I do think WizKids does things to the community to purposely sort of like poke them with a stick. Not enough to gouge an eye out or draw blood, but enough to rile the bee's nest. They really do like swinging that stick hard. And one of the big things that I've said it before, when WizKids is afraid that a product will do poorly, they will put something broken in it. Yu-Gi-Oh! For a prime example. Oh my gosh. There's so much broken stuff in there. That Golden Age is permanently screwed until they move Yu-Gi-Oh! Out of Golden Age. Okay? There's just too much in that to make it even any level of balance. Any level of balance whatsoever. And for you to put stuff in modern age to go fight Yu-Gi-Oh! Clicks is dumb. It's dumb. And number 2, it creates another imbalance in the main set. So I know Yu-Gi-Oh! Clicks is one example. Highfather is another. It's silly. And then the biggest example of WizKids making broke stuff just so that they can make money and get the community riled up is... I like to bring them out here. It's the Batmite. It's Batmite. Yes, and for some of you who might not think that it's real, that I just got like a box or something. $50, $50 on eBay. Oh yeah, his price went down from the absurd $70 that he was. Anyway, but yeah, WizKids does all sorts of things that is just to turn a profit and to stir the nest. And you can say like, oh, but they see into the magical future and they have all this stuff set up. Yes and no. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they just don't know what the heck is going on. Sometimes they make some really bad game design decisions. They just do. And they create extremes within the game so that they can justify creating something else that was in the back of their head that they wanted to do on some of their personal power fantasies. Anyway, so before I rant and offend a ton more people, I'm just going to leave it at, yeah, I think that WizKids purposely puts out stuff to get us riled up and to keep us interested, and more importantly, to break the game so we can keep buying, so that we're constantly on that spiral upward of never-ending armament. Question number 2. What are the power combinations within One Piece that you personally love to see? I'm not necessarily asking what is the most powerful. I just want to know which combination or combinations do you see and just have to play. I have to get Teen Titans 100-point Ravager because I love the possibilities. Blaze Claws, Fangs, Flurry. Add a little problem there too. Such possibilities. Lately, the power combinations that I like to see is running shot and improved targeting. Not because it's balanced, but because it's broken. Yeah, it's broken. The next thing that I like to see is support prop or support perplex or support outwit or support enhancement because you have something that supports your team while your figure's just sitting there. Another one that I like that we're starting to see come back is like enhancement and shield. So like Glenn Talbot is ridiculously broke strong, and oh gosh, people that didn't recognize how strong Glenn Talbot is, I'm not going to promote violence, but just sort of like tapped him on the back of the head, like enhancement plus shield damage plus enhanced range. So you can give a figure +2 damage. And +1 range. It's ridiculously good. But other than that, really, I'll say this. I like a shenanigan. I'm just that sort of player. I like a defensive shenanigan. It's like, you can't get me. Your range is less than what it is. You can't use that power. So for me, it becomes a little tough when I say like, hey, yeah, I like this power combination more. I do lean toward the shenanigans because I just like it. Now, question number 3. I'm sure that you are going to do a show about this, but just in case, which figures do you think are best in slosh in the meta? Are we going to hear a lot from Bizarro, or is he a flash in the pan? Look at the last rock tournament that I covered. Will cover. That will be out as soon as I finish editing it and it goes up. So the next episode of The Quarry, which would probably be 13, check that out and you'll see Bizarro is not a flash in the pan. He's legit. Definitely when you start adding Anger's Hammer. But Lydia Malor just completely hoses that. But I think if you check out the blog, I did a list of the must-buys from Slosh. It's startingoverpodcast.blogspot.com. Go check that out, and you will see pretty much every major figure I think is going to impact the meta that you need to have from Slosh. But I would say the biggest one right now, try to get your hands on, because I think the prices that went down is Lydia Malor. She's proven that she's way stronger than what people think she is. And then on top of that, just add in the fact that she can do her little out of the shadows movement in charge. Like, That's ridiculous. But White Witch, White Witch is going to show up. The question is how. Question is how. I don't know, and if I did know, I would be building it and playing with it. Pure and simple. Next question he had is, the community seems certain the Flash is next, I guess the next set. But which theme do you want to see after that? I would assume it would be for DC. Actually, I would love to see Milestone as a set, but no one would buy it. Just be honest. I would love to see Milestone as a set. Other than that, I already got my Gen 13, so I don't really care about that theme, because I wanted like a Wild Storm theme for the longest time, and that's not happening. What else? Actually, I think that's it. There's no other real theme. Like I could say like Wakanda, but nobody would buy that. No one would buy that at all. So if it could be like a mini set, then yeah, there you go. If it's like a gravity feed, then yeah, I'd say like Wakanda, or even Milestone, or I've had enough X-Men, like, because people might be thinking like, well, Dark Logos, is it just because of black superheroes? Like, no, because all the other stuff that I wanted to get, I've gotten. I mean, like, let's see, I read X-Men as a kid. I got that. When I finally got X-Men, I was like, well, dang it. If I won Gen Con, he was one of the characters I would make. I got Brother and Dr. Voodoo, which is like, well, characters if I won Gen Con, I would have made. So there's this long list of like what's left. Like within the last 2 years, WizKids has almost gone through every major comic book theme. So there's really, unfortunately, not that much left in the gold mine. And unless they're going to be like, New 52, everything, which you could sort of tell the way people were talking about Teen Titans, most folks aren't really hyped about New 52. And I think that's mainly because DC is, yeah, they mishandle some things. And in trying to start everything fresh, because they literally ran out of story ideas, I don't know. I think they just decided they didn't want to be bound by continuity. So there's not much left between the new story sucking within New 52, and B, WizKids putting out a bazillion sets. There's just nothing much out of DC that I would like. Okay, fifth question. Lastly, in the context of the meta and time that you have played it, which team is the greatest team that you have ever built at any point rule level? Let us consult the questionable knowledge of the HeroClix notebook to find probably the greatest team that I've ever played. In my heart of hearts, it tells me that it involved Master Mold. Even though I've had some pretty silly teams. Again, things that are normally taken out in editing, people, of me searching through to find stuff. Where's the one with Nightwing? I know I had it. Mole Man, Bizarre Alternate? No, I didn't. That's not T. I know it's like Master Mold, Nightwing, some other crap. It was ridiculous. It all comes down to if that team got recorded within the halls of history. It probably did not. No, probably did not. Okay, off the top of my head, the team was pretty broken. And yeah, it was pretty broken. I think it was like 1,000-point game. And what ended up happening is I played Dark Phoenix, Nightwing, Master Mold, and it was the Nightwing from the Batman set that's like, regardless of your point value, he will take tokens off. That one, yeah, I was playing Dark Phoenix at 100 points. I had 2 Ciphers, the Nightwing. I probably had like 3 Destinies. Infinity Gauntlet on Master Mode. And no, Tony Stark. And I think Human Target, because I was so... No! Okay, that wasn't it, and that's why I can't find it. Okay. I now remember. Okay. Okay, it was Tester. That's what it was. Okay, now I remember. It was Tester, I think at like 600 points. Dark Phoenix, Nightwing, like 3 Destinies, a couple of Con Artists, Stunning Blow on Tester, and yeah, it was because feats were involved. Stunning Blow on Tester. That was it. Something along that line. There was probably other things in there. Oh, like I probably had like 2 100-point Supergirls, and I had I think Magneto, the GSX Magneto. So pretty much how this worked, and I had some enhancement in there. How this worked was really retardedly dumb, because I would just move out and see everybody that I possibly could with Tester, and then just proceed to incapacitate the fire out of them and then give damage. And it was like watching paint dry, but it was paint drying on a wonderful masterpiece of destruction. Yes, that's it. The wonderful masterpiece of destruction of my opponent. So yeah, that's probably like the brokest thing that I've done that will probably never be repeated again. Yeah, probably never be repeated again, because that was just too lame. Unless I really need the prize. I hold all reservations. So anyway, thank you very much, Tom, for the questions. Next up is Aaron Constantine. He asked, 1, should I get maps laminated? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? And what is it like playing on them? If you are going to get maps laminated, I recommend that you do not roll your maps. Just pure and simple, which means that you're going to carry like a piece of a box like really big, about the width of you, to slide the maps in. Because what I've learned is that the laminated maps, when you roll them, even though they stay nice, the problem comes in is that over time that curl becomes permanent. No matter if you try to rotate it the other way, it's still going to rotate back into the original way it was rolled. So unfortunately, the only way that you really stop laminated maps from going to crap is just having a box and carrying them like that. So they become a lot more of a hassle to transport at that stage, and they're not easy to take to a con or whatever. So what I recommend is that you have what I call like the mobile batch of maps, and then you have your standard maps that you're going to play for your tournament. So for every major set, try to get 2 copies of the map. one to laminate and then one to sort of carry around. So if you go to a rock or a Gen Con or anything, you know, you'll have it and you're able to take it on the plane instead of be like, my carry-on is my backpack in this big box that's 2 seats wide. You know, that won't work. Anyway, next, 2 more indie clicks. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Spawn, heroclix. Will we see one? Is there a chance that they'll ever try to make it? No, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a definite no, because of licensing. And Spawn, no, because no, I've known that one for a long time, primarily because Todd McFarlane wants like a fully I would say it like he wants an action figure on a base, and we don't have that. Number 3, do you think they will add more manga anime to heroclix? If you asked me this 2 years ago, I would say, I hope so. Now I'm like, no, please no. Because if we already think like, yeah, things are crazy in comic books. Things are freaking ridiculous in anime and manga. So if like I read History's Strongest Disciple, Kenichi, if they had any of the masters on there, each of them would be like 200 points and ridiculous. Okay, so I don't want that at all. And then also there's a fair amount of TNA in manga and also in anime. So a lot more than in American comics. Like I don't think people realize that. There's anyway. Do you like to watch Toonami? I used to. I've sort of not watched that much TV. I actually spend most of my time, the time I have off, playing heroclix, reading on heroclix, organizing this pile of heroclix around me that you saw, or playing Might Magic Duel Champions or League of Legends or my PlayStation. I guess for me, I find from all the stuff I know from communication and debate, I find TV right now as a method of re-education a la 1984. And then when you start going into the neuroscience of marketing, when you start equating emotional satisfaction with product, that is bad. You start the train down the deification of materialism. And like blah, blah, blah. You got really super philosophical. But really, no, I don't watch that much TV. I didn't watch Toonami for the main fact of when they finally got Bleach, I had stopped watching anime at that time, but I was so far ahead watching the translations and all the filler arcs and all that other stuff that I just didn't care. Like even with Naruto, like I read Naruto the manga, I'm like I don't care. I already know what happens. I don't need to see the jitsu and the spinning balls and all this other stuff. I don't need to see all that. I already know what happens. And it's sad when you say like the filler arc is probably the only thing you might be interested in because you didn't read it. Anyway, 5th question. Do you think WizKids should keep branching into different properties for heroclix? Yes and no. Yes, if they keep it out of modern age and golden age and its own thing, and you go get your Star Trek license, your Yu-Gi-Oh license, all the other stuff. There's a phrase in my mind, but I can't use it because it's just wrong in context. But as long as they keep the world separate and they don't try to do a universe mash, then it's all good. If they try to do more stuff and be like, hey man, we're afraid, we need you heroclix people to buy this, so it's golden age. It's golden age. Yeah. We need to make sure that we make our money because we're not sure that these other new people will buy it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my thoughts. Do you think that the meta, sixth question, do you think the meta will change drastically in non-Marvel and DC set, yeah, if a non-Marvel DC set were modern? If it was a non-comic book property, yes, because then everybody would ask the doors to be knocked down for Street Fighter and all these other stuff, all these other sets. If it is a comic book property, and I mean comic book property of superheroes, or even a comic book or a superheroes based show, like the back in the day, the show Heroes was supposed to get like a micro set thing. If it's something like that, I think it's completely fine. And the meta will be broken because they'll always put something broken in there to justify for people to buy it, which is better than them just making a whole set of crap, which they've done. Made whole sets of crap. So I do, no matter what, each set will always change the meta. So, all right. The last question is from Glenn Quagmire from HC Realms. Don't know if your 800-point Black History Month game has happened, but I would love to hear about in a podcast at some time. Hear about it in a podcast sometime, or read about it in your blog post. Okay, pretty much. The Black History Month the Black History Month team this year was interesting. And I was going to write like this haiku or this epic poem about my team, but I didn't. And so it also sucks, too, that I completely forgot about Static Shock. Of all of the characters, I forgot about Static, one of the main characters I would have made and I really loved from a kid, teenager. So, okay. My team was Iron Man 3 War Machine because he is awesome. Black Lightning at 87 points. M10 Storm, and I had the promotion on the side. Invincible Iron Man, 110 points, and that was Rhodey. Dark Knight Rises, Lucius Fox. Brother Voodoo, Bat Cycle, because Lucius Fox makes all Batman stuff. GCPD Motorcycle. Hey, it's a vehicle. And a mutant student, because I thought the mutant students looked brown to me, so I thought they could be black. I didn't know. A whole lot of people told me they were Asian and Pacific Islander and all this other stuff. This one dude has a fro. He's black. So I count him. There. So I had to have a stack of them. So, all right. He's black. He's there. So some people might be asking, what the heck and how does this work? Well, it lacks some core components, most of which would have been there if this was a Golden Age game. But it's a modern age game. And also, if I had resources, which I purposely had that left out in my request, there would be other elements that would work a bit better. I'm not going to lie. But the main goal was I was trying to abuse the fact that the pack didn't I was trying to abuse the fact that the pack didn't put in, not the pack, the rules guy didn't put in the rules change about Pogs couldn't pilot vehicles. And so I was going to have the mutant student pilot. Well, there was a bunch of complications in which nothing in which I planned happened. And so pretty much War Machine is the tit pole. Black Lightning is the great follow-up support. I take away your stat modification awesome guy. Storm is the best sniper ever. Just is. Iron Man is just too many points of not doing anything. He did like one thing out of all three of my games. He just sucked. He sucked a bit. Anyway, he didn't die. That's the part. That Iron Man did not die, but he did not kill anything either. Oh gosh. Anyway, Lucius Fox was a boss, but Lucius Fox, he wasn't the most optimal of characters when I look back at it. Brother Voodoo did everything a Brother Voodoo can. And the Bat Cycle was nice just for a smoke cloud here and there. That actually helped me out a ton. And Mutant students are straight meta. Oh, Blade. I forgot to say Blade. I had the 85-point Blade. Blade did work. Blade did some good work for me. Pretty much the games broke down like this. Move up into position ever so slowly. Wait for my opponent to move out. Face up Brother Voodoo. Have him mind control somebody of higher points than Brother Voodoo. And then send that person into the death machine that was my team as I kill them. And then pray that War Machine lives. So that's pretty much how that worked. Very consistently. And then I got into the final round and I got slaughtered by Ashuma. So, yeah. Black History Month team going 2-1 for the second year in a row. Well, we're going to go 3-1 one of these. We're going to go 3-0 one of these years. Next year is a rebuilding year. That's what I like to think. All right. So, what I'm going to do is, out of my magical bag of my tournament stuff that I have, I'm going to assign everybody in the order in which they had submitted a question, a number, which will be 1 through 6. And then I'm going to roll to see who gets the prizes. So this is the only fair way that I feel I can do this, since someone might say, blah, 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 you went to this, that, and the other with that person, and blah, 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 you know this person, that person, blah, blah, blah. So, no. So none of that. None of that at all. Okay. All right. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So anything but a 6. And this is bad TV because this should be like, you should see it in action. Actually, you might as well see it in action. So, yes, I do have pants. All right. Rolling. 3. So 1, 2, 3. Tom, you have won a Silver Centurion. Congratulations. All right. Next up is for the Iron Man. 6, which is not a person. Yes, 6 is not a person. Oh, rolling on the floor. Have to re-roll. 6 is not a person again. 4. Aaron Constantine, you win an Iron Man. And last roll. 6 is, stop rolling a 6. If I can only roll these many 6s at a tournament. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Glenn Clackmeyer, you win an Iron Man. So, and I don't know. So let me highlight it here so that I don't forget. All right. So what I want you to do is email me, or email me your mailing address so that I can get it to Eagles Collectibles, and they will send you your prize from eaglescollectibles.com. So definitely check that out. All right. So I thank everybody for submitting questions. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for sticking with me for 100 episodes. If you did not, I would not be the host of The Quarry or any number of other activities that I do. So it's much appreciated. If you have any topics for any future episodes, just PM me. Just PM me and let me know what you want to see. What do you want to hear? Why? Why do you want to hear it? Definitely let me know. Also, it has been determined by the grand conversation that's been going on through emails that, we're going to go do more video. Oh my gosh. But that does mean that there's going to be less shows, but there will be video. So 2 straight audio in a month and 1 video in a month. And the video will most likely be of me showing you why something is strong or broken. Less than watch Dark Logos play a game. If you all do want to see watch Dark Logos play a game, I got to figure something out with that. But it's possible. It's just about a setup. It's just about getting setup done. All right. Well, anyway, thanks for listening. I really appreciate you all for being with me for 100 episodes. You can follow me on Twitter. It came from outer space and then told me that 100 episodes is like a fart in space-time. Poignant, but dissipates. You can hear my random musings, also know when a new show is up. And more importantly, you'll hear my random musings whenever I feel like using Twitter. And I do mean random. Also, you can follow me on the blog, startingoverpodcast.blogspot.com. It's awesome whenever I write on it. Just saying. You can donate on the blog, and you can help me give awesome stuff to other people. Also, help pay for the production of the show. I got like 2 pieces of equipment left to pay off. I've paid off the mic. Thank you, Jake. He made a donation of $25. So the mic is paid off. Between this and the quarry, my billing for the quarry, the mic is paid off. Hand clap. So I am working on paying for this webcam that I've used. And this other camera, which I will be using to record stuff with. And the tripod. So that's like, I got it cheap at Target with my discount. So this is like, I think all in all, this cost me like $30. Yeah, with my discount. And then I think that webcam I have now cost me like another $30. 30 to $50. I forgot. It's been a while since I've had it. So, you can donate. Help me pay off equipment that I will be using, or buy more equipment, or buy more codes. Speaking of codes, I do have a nice little code for you all that did stay to the end for, I was about to say City of Heroes. That's not it. For HeroClix Online. This comes from the Captain America Winter Soldier set. It is C, like in Captain, A, like in America, W, like Winter, S, like Soldier, M, like Man, S, like Soldier, 2, T, like Terminator, X, like X Factor, Q, like Q-tip, 4, N, like Nancy. All right. Oh, email me, startingoverpodcast@gmail.com. If you wish to opine, keep it piffy, keep it interesting, keep it awesome. What do you think about my wardrobe? All right. Again, thanks for an awesome episode 100. Thank you for following me and staying with me. And remember, we all have to start over sometime.